Mr. Bill Clinton Inaugural Address 1993. My fellow citizens, today we celebrate the mystery of American renewal. The ceremony is held in the depths of winter, but by the words we speak and the faces we show the world, we force the spring. A spring reborn in the vision and courage to reinvent America. When our founders boldly declared right Americans, independence, the world, and our purpose to the Almighty, they knew that America to endure would have to change. Not a change for change's sake, but change to preserve America's ideals, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Though we march to the music of our time, our mission is timeless. Each generation of Americans must define what is meant to be an American. On behalf of our nation, I salute my predecessor, Mr. Bush, for his half-century of service to women, to America. I thank millions of men and women whose steadfastness and sacrifice triumphed over depression, fascism, and communism. Today, a new generation has raised in the shadow of Cold War. When the Cold War assumes new responsibilities in a world warmed by the sunshine of freedom, but threatened still by ancient hatred and new plagues. Race and unrivaled prosperity to be inherent an economy that is still the world's strongest, but is weakened by business failures, stagnant wages, increasing inequalities, and deep divisions among our people. When George Washington first took us an oath, I just sworn to uphold news travel slowly across the land by horseback and cross the ocean by boat. Now the sight and sound of ceremony was brought by a broadcast instantaneously to billions around the world. Communication and commerce are global. Investment is mobile. The technology is almost magical, and ambition for a better life is now universal. We earn our livelihood in peaceful competition with people across the globe. Profound and powerful forces are shaking and remarking our world. And the urgent question of our time is whether we can make our change our friend and not our enemy. This new world has already enriched the lives of millions of Americans who are able to compete and win in it. But when most people are working harder for less, but others cannot work at all, when the cost of healthcare devastates families and threatens to bankrupt many of our enterprises, great and small, when fears of crime robs law-abiding citizens of their freedom, and when millions of poor children cannot even imagine the lives we are calling them to lead, we have not made changes, our friends. We know we have to face hard truths and take hard steps, but we have not done so. Instead, we have drifted, and that drifting has eroded our resources, fractured our economy, and shaken our confidence. Though our challenges are fearsome, so are our strengths, and Americans have ever been restless, questing, and hopeful people. We must bring to our task today the vision and will of those who come before us. From our revolution, the Civil War, to the Great Depression, Civil Rights Movement, our people have always mustered the determination construct from these crises the pillars of history. Thomas Jefferson believed that to preserve the very foundation of our nation, we need a dramatic change from time to time. Well, my fellow citizens, this is our time. Let us embrace it. Our democracy must not be only They are no envy of the world, but the engine of our renewal. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured, and but what is right with America. And so today my pledge to an end an era of deadlock and drift a new season of American renewal has begun. To renew America, we must be bold. We must do what no generation has had to do before. We must invest more in our people, in our jobs, in their future, and at the same time, cut our massive debts. And we must do in a world in which we must compete for every opportunity. It will not be easy. It will require sacrifice. But it can be done, and done fairly. Not choosing sacrifice for our own sake, but not for our own sake. We must provide for our nation the way a family provides for its children. Our founders saw themselves in the light of posterity. We can do no less. Anyone who has ever watched a child's eye wander into sleep knows what posterity is. Posterity is the world to come, the world from whom we hold our ideals, from whom we have borrowed our planet, and to whom we have bear sacrifice, sacred responsibility. We must do what America does best, offer more opportunities to all, and demand responsibilities from all. It's time to break the bad habit of expecting something from nothing, and our government or from each other. Let us all take more responsibility, not only for ourselves and for families, but for our communities and our country. To renew America, we must revitalize our economy. This beautiful capital, like every capital since the dawn of civilization, is often a place of intrigue and calculation. Powerful people maneuver propositions and worry endlessly about who is in and who is out, who is up and who is down, forgetting all those people who toil and sweat in and out, sends us here and pay our price. Americans deserve better, and in the city today, there are people who want to do it better. And so I say to all of these here, let us resolve to reform our politics so that power and privilege is no longer shout down the voice of people. Let us put aside personal advantage so that we can feel the pain and see the promise of America. Let us resolve and seek the promise. Let us resolve to make the government a place for what Franklin Roosevelt said, bold, persistent experimentation. A government for our tomorrows and our yesterdays. Let us begin this capital back to the people to whom it belongs. To renew America, we must meet challenges abroad as well as home. There is no longer division between what is foreign and what is domestic. The world economy, the world environment, the World AIDS Council crisis, the world arms race, they all affect us. Today, as an old order passes, the new world is more free but less stable. Communism's collapse has called forth old animosities and new changes. Clearly, America must continue to lead the world. We did so to make. While America rebuilds at home, we will not shrink from the opportunity, from the challenge, nor fail to seize the opportunity of this new world. Together with our friends and allies, we will work to shine lest it engulfs us. When our vital interests are challenged or the will and conscience of the international community is defied, we will act with peaceful diplomacy whenever possible, with force when necessary. The brave Americans serving our nation today in the Persian Gulf, in Somalia, and wherever else they stand are testament to our resolve. But our greatest strength is the power of our ideals, which are still new in our lands. Across the world we see them embraced, and we rejoice our hope, our heart, our hand, and those are building democracy on freedom. This cause is America's cause. The American people have summoned the change we celebrate today. You have raised your voice in an unmistakable chorus. You have cast your votes in historic numbers. And you have changed the face of Congress, the presidency, and the political process itself. Yes, you, my fellow citizens, Americans, have forced the spring. Now let us do the work the season demands. To what work I now turn with all the authority of my office. I ask the Congress to join with me. But no president, no Congress, no government can undertake the mission alone. My fellow citizen Americans, you too must play a part in the renewal. I challenge the new generation of young Americans to a season of service, to keep on your idealism by helping troubled children, keeping company with those in need, reconnecting with our torn communities. There's so much to be done, enough indeed for millions of us who are still young in spirit to give themselves in service to. In serving, we recognize a simple but more powerful truth which we need each other. And we must care for one another. Today we do more than celebrate America. We rededicate ourselves to the very idea of America. An idea born in revolution and renewed through 2 centuries of challenge. An idea tempered by the knowledge that but for the fight we, the fortunate, an idea ennobled by the fight that a nation can summon from its myriad diversity and deepest measure of unity. An idea infused with the conviction that America's long heroic journey must go on forever upwards. And so, my fellow Americans, at the edge of the 21st century, let us begin the energy and hope with work, with fight and discipline, and let's work until our work is done. The scripture says, and let's not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. From this joyful mountaintop of celebration, we are called to serve us in the valley. We have heard the trumpets, we have changed the guard, and now to each in every our way, and with God's help, we must answer the call. Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.